Kana onile le tse dingwe tsa bo Almanso abo kareke 12 billion tsa bo shake a di tse ora mo tsamai be go nna le engwe le na le Zotas go le yone o ko o re atolela ka re ba tswana go re tsa gore go ra re madi a goro. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
President.
Here. These investors come either because we've invited them and we are directing them to certain projects, or they themselves, because they do their own assessment, have identified certain opportunities that they want to partner with us in developing. Project e ke buang ka yona ya Morupule B, refurbishment to super optimality, and Morupule A, le tse dingwe tse ke di buang. Let me focus on just the two. Morupule A, the plant there, lifespan was extended by 7 years. After it had got a plant in ale nako boiswa e hela e ka thola e bereka, but they introduced some upgrades to give it 7 more years. 7 years what the well aka 2027, so it's left with 2 years. In 2027, Morupule A will be mothballed, no longer exist. This project that we are concluding will give Morupule A, because they are bringing technology, they will now extend the life of Morupule A by at least 15 years, when we would otherwise close it down and mothball it. Now it has a shot at another lease on life. That's number one. Morupule B, which has not functioned, re na le thaelo ya motlakase, re na le dikgaogo. Dikgaogo ke mabaka a tsona a mabedi. A ntlha ke gore one motlakase,
Clarification.
the generation is low, or some of the time it is not even a generation problem, it's a transmission problem, because there's not enough investment in the upgrading of the transmission infrastructure. It is because the infrastructure cannot cope. So we need to upgrade the infrastructure as well. So this investment will not only refurbish Morupule B, it will also upgrade the transmission infrastructure. It will also construct interconnectors so that we can export power to Zambia, DRC, into the SADC power pool. That now positions Botswana as a net exporter of electricity. What does that mean ultimately? It means we'll not be needing to import electricity from South Africa at about 3 billion every year. Once we close that down, and I'm showing you ways in which we are raising money. What is the best income that you have? The one that is already in your hands. The money that we take out to pay South Africa is in our hands. We have to give it to them. If we kept it, because we did not need any longer to buy electricity from them, we save 3 billion. What do we do with the 3 billion? That's what we will engage on, and my job is to make it available. Your job is to then see how to spend it. This program enables us to get there, and get there fast, get there in a sure-footed manner. That's what the Botswana Economic Transformation Program does for us. Let me allow you, sir.
Clarification of Lucas.
Ke a leboga, Mr. President. Ne ke tota ke sala morago kgang e ne e buiwa ke Honorable go Botswana. Gore kana batho ba ba di investor ba taka mehuta. A re na le di-processes tsa go exclude chances. Gore ba e leng gore ba ka tahela motho a teng a ta soletsa magodimo e be e le gore tota ga one magodimo a gae. A re na le a very clear, strict process ya go veta bone di-investors tshwanetse. Ke a leboga.
Mr. President.
Re na le yone ha e Thailand e ra e tokahatsa. Mme ke wetse project e ta bon re mametlela mo tshokologong ya gompieno so that re tlhaloganya. Ha re ka itshetlela mo go hetleng motlakase, ra se ka ra tlhola re ikaega ka mahatsha a mangwe gore ba re rekisetsa motlakase o re o rekang ko ntle ko South Africa under that improved contract, it's still very, very expensive. Ha re setse re le mo seemong sa go itirela re bo re nna le surplus ke rona re ta bone re rekisetsa yone South Africa re sa save 3 billion hela re bo re tsaya yo mongwe ko go bone ka gore the reason ba re rekisetsa so re ga ba shote bone ba dira madi ka rona me anong ha re setse re siame re a ba rekisetsa re nyalo jaanong ga gona mathata se tlole le tlisa kwano re tlisa go go lona ka yone thulaganyo yone re bo re sa bona 3 billion hela e be nna le yo mongwe wa go ra ba rekisetsa. That's the one. The next issue, which is also very critical and it has far-reaching implications for our economy, is the one that we've concluded with the sovereign Sultanate of Oman at a government-to-government level. One way of avoiding chances is to engage with governments at a government-to-government level and partner there. Now, the partnership between Oman and Botswana for the development of 500 megawatt solar plus battery plant, which will be concluded. These folks, the Omani Investment Authority, will be here on the 26th of November. We will then hand over to them. Kobo maungwa, kobo letakani, 500. We are rolling out these. The import for the economy is this. Supported by battery, brings down the cost of production of electricity so far down that a number of things are going to happen. One, the cost of electricity will go down for the consumer. That's the first. The second is that the grid, the base load, will be stabilized because there's battery. The third is, government subsidizes electricity. And the reason it subsidizes is that the cost at which BPC buys electricity and the cost at which it sells electricity to the end user, only disparity. Government comes in here to make the shortfall. And that shortfall is up to $75 million every financial year. Now, these projects that we are on will reduce the cost of electricity, number one. Two, will now ensure that BPC acquires at that reduced cost on sales with profit, and the cost of electricity will still be lower than what it is now. The end game here is then government will not need to pay any subsidy. Why? Because there will be no need for a subsidy. The cost is so low, BPC is making profit without overcharging. The cost is low for the consumer. BPC still makes profit on that low cost for the consumer. Government doesn't need to subsidize $75 million saved. That $75 million that we will save is then made available to you to say, what do we fund there? Because the money is there. And this is money in our hands. So these are the projects. Now let me get to these investors. Investors come, they say, we want to work with you. We want to deploy up to $12 billion like the Al Mansour Holdings. Yes, we want people who can invest. Are you a credible investor? On our preliminary research, yes, you are. What are the terms? We will together identify projects that require funding. We will then do a feasibility assessment that determines the commercial viability of that project before we put money into it. Having agreed that it is commercially viable, we will then look at the funding model the financial model that you are presenting to us, we may reject it. So you say you have 12 billion available to be invested in the country. We welcome that investment. But there are certain processes and protocols that will enable this investment to be deployed. It's your money. You want to invest it here. We welcome your investment. We are ready. We have projects here that require funding, many of them viable commercially. Can we assess them together and come to a determination and then move? Which is why, and let me demonstrate this to you again. The fact that the Qataris, Al Mansour Holdings, came here, what it did was to trigger a chain reaction. UAE then said, they came running and said, Oman came running. Oman literally lives here. They are involved to the Milk Valley. They are involved through their investment authority in Air Botswana. They are involved in many other projects running. So Milk Valley, the reason is this. That plant is secondary, tertiary ready, processing. What is the critical missing element? The primary part. Arna le tsone bo Botswana nya ga rena natso re ka di bona kae re Lucas a re lebe kwa Africa Borwa ke yone re ka mashiko go yone ka di lithara tse di hakamatsa a e ka reksetsa di khomu tse gore re ntshe re ipekolle ga ke dumele ga go a nna ya me bile yone South Africa ke red zone anyway a ke ra importa go tswa go yone le dipalo tsa bone ne di ka se tsa lekana ra kae.
Clarification.
The investor says, option. Where's the clarification? Okay, say.
Clarification of Dr. Obotswana.
Mr. President, can I only a company in engage you look at 3,000? What lessons have you learned?
Mr. President.
Investment. I'll deal with that model. Now what we said was this. You come with your money, because we don't have the money. You build these houses. Ratoka matua for batubabo D something, D4 upwards. In the government, GEMVAS and whatever other programs. They can afford, they need access. You will get your money back. Go and raise the finance yourself, wherever, without us. Anything less than 4,000, we agree. They then went to raise funding. They seem to have struggled to raise funding. And let me tell you this, even if it were a local company, the amounts that are required, none of them has 10 billion pula sitting in their account. Money doesn't do that. You can't keep it like that. Your worth may be 100 billion. Elon Musk. How can you account how can you tell the trillion is $10? But he's wealthy. He's able, when it is required of him, to call a financial institution and say, I need this amount. The investor on our pledge guarantee a 3 billion. When that was demanded, he called his bank and said, I need a letter guaranteeing $3 billion for this project. The bank issued. Why? Because they know the net worth of this individual. They struggled. But obviously, you then deploy other alternatives which have already been activated. Ha gongwe bothata e nna gore dikompone tsa rona le bone bo BHC di bonya go tsibogela seemo ha dilo di sa tsamaye sentle ha ke gore a ke re Botswana must function ke bo ke re board these are the requirements. Before you step in there, do you think you can deliver this thing? If you say yes to me, you are going to deliver it. And if you can't, tell me now. But if you step in and I realize you are not up to the task, I'll remove you immediately and bring somebody else. I would rather do that and be attacked than let you play. So we need to be able to substitute. Substitute. So we need to be able to move with speed and substitute a non-performing investor and replace them with an investor who's more serious. So both Al Mansur have indicated they will deploy the 12 billion investment in certain, even mining. What then has to happen? They have to deploy their teams to do their due diligence, to then do feasibility, and then deploy the funding and the resources. Both bata ka thulaganyo yone. And kinekere both baba boni yaanong bata ka mmete. All these investors are coming because they saw when they come and they find. So this BETP seeks to enable agility in execution, agility in facilitating. A guy who has $1 billion US dollars. President. Hey, you must see the guy. Businessman, minister. The guy has $1 billion. You're joking. You must see the guy and listen to him. And if he says, I'm going to do this, I need facilitation, deploy mechanisms to facilitate. Look at.
Clarification.
Please conclude your debate, Mr. President.
So the arrogance here ka khona go approach dilo ka yone re le mo mathateng re ithoka re tsantse re beele go thoko re facilitate re thomamise gore dilo tse di a diragala. The problem that we've had as a country, I want to be honest with you, is that we've not been creative in coming up with solutions. We've failed, all of us. Opposition, ruling parties, everybody. Technocrats, professionals, we've all failed this country. This is the time, through this transformation program, to redeem ourselves, all of us. Let us take this country to a higher level. Let us generate solutions. Hakiri, we must pay these people by December. Baba Kolotiwa. I said, one of the things you do, go and negotiate invoice discounts. Call that 200 million. Ki o sa re go neela 150 in full and final settlement. We agree, we pay you. We save a bit, you also benefit, life goes. We clear the debt. This is what the country must do. So our challenge, all of us, bukite japu mokhwilo o ruele ke go bona gore re batela le hatse madi ko kae jang ka ditsela tse di sa imetseng lone le hatse tsa le totometsa gape mo sekolotong se se ka dirang gore re bo re downgradeiwa. Ba go bi bothe ba bata we do due diligence. Hangwe ra DIS re tholle ho gore a me motho o siame. Bo bata ka information. They will deal with their sources across. They are all interlinked. They'll talk to MI6, talk to CIA, talk to whoever they want to talk to. And they will bring a full dossier on the investor and say, Reboni say, they are not making the decision for us. They are just giving us information that enables us to process this thing. Meki lemoga gore ba ga rona. Re dumalaneng re leke tsela e. Re te re emeletse le hatse. Re le ise ko pele. Le tswe ka megopolo. Ke re o ka tharabole pointed response. A re o ketse makgetho. He says, then we can look at it and see what else is there and examine, because it's always not one answer. Ke a leboga ba Putin.